welcome back or welcome to 123 Conversations. If this is your first time here, 123 Conversations is a show where we interview one guest, and there's two hosts, myself and Terry Dean, who I'll introduce in a second, and we go over like 3 questions related to the one guest, but of course, we talk way too much and we get off track very easily. So it's 123 Conversations in name only. Thank you so much for being here. That being said, my name is Candace Thomas, and I'm Intuitive Coach, which is just a fancy pants way of saying I show people how to use their intuition on purpose to create results they want in their life. And my co-host is the lovely, and she's sometimes on this side of the screen, but Terry Dean. And Terry Dean is a fabulous, she's got over 30 years of experience in marketing, sales, and a bunch of other things. Every time we talk to her, you find out another job or expertise that she has, which is brilliant. And we are so fortunate to be joined by the lovely Sarah Sparks, who on our screens, if you are watching this, is below us. So, hey, Sarah, welcome. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
And for those of you who don't know Sarah, Sarah is the spiritual director at Create the Spark LLC. She is a farm-raised, college-educated, former local government employee turned business owner who is no longer ashamed of her spiritual woo-woo-ness. So it's like, we've already got some parallels. So excited for you being here. And in addition to all that, Sarah guides fun, fabulous, fashionable females to level up and lead with their soul, all by listening to their divine guidance. So Sarah believes you have limitless power to lead with your soul and listen to your divine guidance, and she can help you tap into that. So let's freaking do this. Sarah, thank you for being here. How are you doing today?
It feels so good to be here. I just love you so much, Candace. And I'm so looking forward to getting to know you, Terry. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, you bet. And I freaking love this because we work in a similar way. And it's like when I heard, because we know each other and we've met before, and Sarah and I have a lot of parallels. So I want to know for you, because my aha stories are how I found out that I was psychic. You know, I've posted in other videos on our channel, but for you, what was your big aha moment or the change that led you to go into this line of work from being a government employee?
Yeah. There's a few different things. One, it was the correlation that I had between listening to my divine guidance or not listening to my divine guidance that led me to depression. And so I did not understand at the time, but I started putting the puzzle pieces together or tying the dots together that like, oh, I haven't been listening. I haven't been tuning in. I haven't been trusting myself. And I feel frustrated, tired, worn out, pulled in many different directions. I feel depressed. And that aha moment, tying it together, I was like, oh, there's something to this inner wisdom, this divine guidance. I have had it my whole life. And when I tune in, I feel really good. But when I don't, I feel really bad. So there has to be some sort of correlation with my divine guidance and being who I really am. And so a story around that, do you mind that I share those moments?
I am enthralled. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So that was like the aha moment and the tying it together, but the actual moments didn't always look quite like that. I knew I had this dream when I was 18 years old. I felt really overwhelmed. And I asked God, which I wasn't in practice of doing because I guess I was just had the preconceived notion, or I made the assumptions growing up Catholic, that you only pray for people who are in the trenches of war or are dying or have some sort of fatal illness or something's really wrong. There was really nothing wrong in my life and things were going great. And I have a family that loves me and I'm taken care of. So I'm like, why would I pray and talk with God? So one night I just felt really overwhelmed and didn't have the answers to all of life's questions, such as where am I going to school, what I'm going to study, all the things. Like I felt like everybody was asking me what I needed to have my whole life figured out by the time I graduated high school. And I really didn't. And so I just said, God, if you happen to know like what I'm supposed to do, please feel free to share that with me. Like, give it to me in a dream. Like, I don't really know how to do this whole thing, but I felt very much like after I watched Eat, Pray, Love, I felt like I had like an Elizabeth Gilbert moment of like on the bathroom floor, like, I don't know what to do. And then that's how I felt in that moment. And so I prayed. And that night before I woke up, I had this dream, and I was walking along the beach, and the sunset was setting to my right. The water was lapping in and out to my right. It was like this turquoise blue. It felt like on my skin, it felt like it was like this humid, moist air. There was crunching seashells underneath my feet, sand, like this white sand beach. There were seagulls I heard, but everything around me was like swirling, and it just felt like home. Like my whole being was like, this is where. And farm raised, college educated on a beach. It didn't, like, nothing correlated, you know? And so I was 18, so I wasn't in college yet, but and so I saw all this, and about 12 feet in front of me, there was a man and he was kind of like off to the right a little bit. And he had a dark tan neck with dark brown hair, and he had broad shoulders. And I'm 5'9", and so he was 6 feet ish, because he was taller than me. And I remember being like, ooh, a man that's taller than me, like in the dream. Because short men would always be like, want to go out, and I'm like, what? Like, seriously. Nothing against like people who have like whatever height you like, cool. It's just not my preference. I like a little bit taller because I'm a taller woman, and also I've never dated like some 7-foot dude either. So I mean, like, I was like, ooh, 6 feet tall. I remember in the dream feeling this. So anyways, crack myself up. So I had the dream. Everything felt like home. I felt like I was home. The guy felt like it was home. The scene felt like home. I was like, I'm home. Holy crap. And I woke up and I became obsessed like with this dream. But I also did not believe that it could possibly be that easy. I didn't think that I could just pray and then get an answer. Or who am I to think that I could go from Iowa farm to a beach, and then that doesn't really answer what my life is supposed to be like, because that doesn't answer what I'm supposed to study or the job or the anything. It just gave me this one moment in time, but everything felt so real. And I ended up having that dream every week, at least one time a week for an entire year. Whoa. It was literally like, God's like, I'm not going to give up on you, or spirit, God, universe, whatever y'all like, not just you guys, but who's ever listening. I don't care how. I'm just supposed to talk about divine guidance. So,
right.
And so, fast forward, I kept ignoring the dream. I ignored everything about it. I would ignore guidance on like where to go to school, what to study. I was like, nope, I know best. Nope, I know best. Nope, nope, nope. I ended up marrying a man that I knew was not the man from the dream. I did not meet him on a beach. He was not the 6 feet tall. It was nothing. I knew it. And I would even be walking down the street, and God bless him, I hope that he has the most amazing life now. I would be walking along the street, still like holding his hand, looking for the guy from the beach. Like, wow. Because he did not feel like home. I knew in my being he was not the guy, but I was with him, and I had an obligation because I am a good girl and things are aligned, and this is what I do, and this is what I've been taught. And I had a whole thing around being accepted and loved by my family, and my father was a farmer, and my ex-husband is a farmer, you know, so like I had a whole bunch of issues around it. That obviously I've worked through because I can talk about them freely. So fast forward, it's now like 9 years later, maybe even 7-ish. And I meet this girl 3 different times in 1 week. Is this story getting too long? Do you need me to shorten it?
No, keep going. Yeah.
I'm all in.
All right, we'll keep going.
And drink. I'm just waiting. I wish I had popcorn because
I'm literally taking notes. Keep going. Yes.
Awesome. I hope everyone else is too. So it is 7-ish years later, and I meet this girl 3 different times in 1 week, like on It was like a Monday, a Wednesday, and then on Sunday, like Monday, I started a hair salon. Wednesday, I was tanning. Yes, I know it's not great for you now, but I didn't know that then. I just still went, saw her there. And then Sunday, she was our waitress, and my ex-husband and I would go to a local pizza place in DeWitt, Iowa, and we would go have some pizza on Sundays. And so we would go, she was our waitress, and I was like, oh my gosh, what is up with this girl? And every time I saw her, I was like, she just seems like she's like a younger version of me. Like we just seem so similar. She's like 16 at the time, because I overheard she and her friend talking, and I kind of just figured it out. And I was like, I wonder what's up with this girl. Why is she coming into my life? Because even though I wasn't spiritually awake, I was still like, something's going on. So fast forward to 3 days after that Sunday, it was like a Wednesday, and the DeWitt Observer comes out on Wednesdays, or at least it did at the time. And that's like the local newspaper. And I open up the newspaper, and there she is. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm standing at the counter, have the newspaper open, and I'm just looking. I came home from work, and I'm reading all about her accomplishments in her life and all the things. And I'm like, she must have won like an award or something. And so I did not realize that I was in the obituary section, and she had killed herself between Sunday and Wednesday. Mm-hmm. And the thing about that is I plan to end my life the next week. And so I was standing there and every time I tell a story, I get emotional. So I had the newspaper open, and I hadn't heard the voice or had like dream moments like I had in the dream when I was 18 for, like 7-ish years. I would have these little inklings or things would be going on, but I really wasn't paying attention, because I was like, nope, I know better. Nope. That's just too easy. That's just weird. That's just crazy. Oh my gosh. And I heard, Sarah, you're meant for more. And I was like, oh, I am. And I had gone earlier to a family member sharing that I was having these thoughts, and this is I didn't feel like I wanted to live anymore. And I was told, we don't talk about that because my grandfather had killed himself. And so we just don't talk about that. You're just fine. You're healthy. You're strong. You're fine, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, who the heck do I talk to about this? And then I thought, when as soon as I heard you're meant for more, I was like, so if God is believing, universe, spirit, whomever this voice is believing in me, I guess I can believe in myself. I guess there has to be something in me that somebody believes in. And I guess I need to figure out what that means. And I have to figure out, what is meant for more mean? What does that mean for me? Where do I go? And then all these thoughts of like, well, then what is my purpose? Or do I have a calling? And I always felt like there was something in me, and I always felt like there was this connection. There was like these things that I just always knew, like I'm always taken care of, I'm always supportive, I'm always safe, I'm always blessed. Like I felt when I was little in that Catholic church, and we'd have to pray before like the mass and stuff, and we would kneel, and I would be like this tall to like the pews, like up to my nose. And I remember it was like my time to just sit in the lap of God and have a conversation, even when I was young. And I would be out on the playground, or not in playground, out on my swing set, because we lived on a farm in the middle of nowhere. So my parents had a swing set. My sisters are 15 to 21 years older than I. So by age 3, it was just me. And so there was a lot of alone time, a lot of conversations with God. And so on the swing set, we would have conversations. So it just was something in me, but I had turned it off. And that's when I was shortly after there became songs like by Mandisa, who it was like it's only the world that we're living in, and that sort of like upbeat music. And it was almost like she was talking to me, and I would be driving to work, and I was just like, wow, I think, okay, I am meant for more. There is more. What is going on? When I am talking with God, when I have this connection, I feel great. And when I'm not, and I think that I know best and I'm pushing it aside, then I start feeling bad. Okay, so there is that correlation. So that's when that it was after the thinking that I was needed to end my life. And so then like after like, I think it was like 2 years roughly, then I ended up leaving the relationship, and my friend was like, you are a total B at this point, let's go to Florida. And so we went to Florida, and we got there on like a Friday, again, like 3 days. Again, threes are my thing. And so 3 days after that was like, it's like a Sunday. And we were told 3 different times to go to Mulligan's, which is a bar grill thingy out on the beach. Or I guess it was intercoastal. It cost us $8 cab ride up here. And when we got there, the band was leaving and everybody was leaving, and there was no one else there except for one table of Iowa peeps who wanted to talk about Ragbri, which is a bike race thing. And then another group of drunken crazies up at the bar. And this woman comes over and tries to give me a lap dance. And I was like, and I am not that girl. And I did not party in college, except for maybe quietly, like in my apartment or something, or maybe like a random, like, because I love to dance. So maybe like crazy dance, but not like, not that type of party. And so I was like very uncomfortable. And this guy comes over and he's like, I am so sorry. We've been drinking all day. And she just is a little much. And she's my friend's girlfriend. And I'm so sorry. And I was like, no, that's fine. I had to go to the bathroom. I walked past him, and he had like cargo shorts on, a t-shirt, a baseball cap, and glasses. Like there was nothing like, ooh, stellar or like different about him. And I walked past him, and there's something that was just like pulled at me. And I was like, that feels different. I was like, oh, well, I got to go to the bathroom. So I walked past. Still not quite tuning in.
Because of course.
So I come back, and it was the same guy that was like, sorry about that. And so then he comes over and is like, so can I sit down and talk? And I was like, yeah, sure. And I'm with my friend, and he's like, so you don't smile much, do you? I was like, you're an a-hole. Like, I'm like, how dare you tell me that I don't smile much? And inside I was like, holy crap. Like, I have been around family and friends who've never said anything, and it's perfect stranger can see it. Like, I was like, oh man, that like, it really hit me. Like it like hit me. But then I was like, also my defense mechanism, who do you think you are? I got all sassy and stuff. And he's like, okay, touched a nerve there. Okay. And so he later on, we were talking, he bought my friend a drink. I was like, cool, he's hitting on my friend, that's awesome. And then he's like, hey, can I offer you a rate-free drive back to your hotel? And I mean, he looks like he is Mr. IT. So like, I'm like, this dude's safe. And he's obviously like a little weird. I kind of dig him. Like, this is kind of fun. And the next thought was, it'd save me $8. I wouldn't have to pay the $8 cab. I mean, get into a car with a perfect stranger that I don't know on vacation. What could go wrong? So I saved myself $8 cab ride and my friend, and we drove back. But I was like, he seems smart, and I'm not quite sure what he does. He hasn't told me yet. So I'm gonna just have him take us to like the hotel, like down the way, and we'll just like hang out for a bit, and then she and I will walk to our hotel, which is also relatively safe, by ourselves, 2 girls walking down a sidewalk at night. You know what I mean? I had great logic. And so we get to this, which is called the Swig Mom. Great, sexy bar. And I'm standing there, we're ordering a drink, and all of a sudden I'm like, and I look at him and I'm like, you feel like home. Not even like thinking, because it's been now 10 years since I had this dream. And I'm like, I feel like I know him. That's weird. I'm like, meh, whatever. This drink is good. So again, so I get out, and he's like, hey, do you want to go for a walk? And I'm like, yeah, sure, that's fine. So I asked the friend, and he had a friend too. And I mean, they weren't like trying to like, we just called the friend, his name is Ronnie, wingman of the year. And so I kind of gave it away there. But so we are walking out on the beach, and I drop my cup, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't want the birds, anybody to get it. Like, that's just, oh my God, whatever. So I turn back around to get the cup. And when I turn back to start walking again, he is 12 feet in front of me, 6 feet tall, dark hair, dark dark neck, and no one else is around, no one else on the beach, seagulls, sun is setting, water lapping, all the things. And I'm standing there with the empty cup going, holy crap. Like,
the guy.
It's home. It's this guy. I'm like, I'm not going to tell him. He's going to think I am crazy. Oh my goodness. So I didn't tell him that I had, like, I did not tell him that he's the one. I didn't tell him anything. I was like, I am a basket case. Literally, I thought about planning my own death. I'm getting divorced, not even divorced. I'm not even available. I freaking hate myself. I can't even look in the mirror, yet alone this like dream guy that I'm supposed to be with is like right here. I'm like, nice timing, God. Like, all the judgment that I ever judged anybody on was like facing right here, right now. I'd be like, oh, how dare someone cheat on their husband? All this self-righteous crap. And here I am, like, not divorced. And I'm like, hey, buddy, how's it going? So all the judgment, all the things, I became all the things. And so I'm like holding my cup. All these thoughts are coming to me at once. And I'm like, we're going to continue walking. So I'm walking and I'm like, so what do you do? And then I go directly into, do you own a farm? Do you want a farm? Will you inherit a farm? Do you have any farming? Because I was like, I am not getting involved with another farmer. This is not happening. I did not want to live on a farm because when I was like 3 years old, I told my dad, I do not want to live on a farm anymore. I am not a farm girl. And so, I was like drilling him and he's like, where is this coming from? I was like, I'm in the middle of getting divorced. I'm a basket case. Very much like, let's date. Like I am very much not appealing whatsoever. So we ended up talking till 4 o'clock in the morning, no hanky panky, no nothing, just talking. And I'm like, whoa. And I always loved looking up at the stars and all the things. And he starts giving me crap that there's a falling star. I was like, no, idiot, it's a plane. And he was like, that's a test. I'm glad that you passed because most women would fall for it. You didn't, good job. And I was like, yeah, so what's your business card? Can I have it? Yeah, sure. Here you go. I'm like, I'm a basket case, as you can tell. So I'll call you later. And I was like, okay, call you later. So a month later, we stayed in contact and now he's Mr. Craig Sparks and we have 2 little Sparks. So.
I love it. I love it. I love it. That's wonderful.
I want to break this down. And what I love about what you said is, and I think this happens for a lot of people, and I'm really curious in your work with your clients, how you address this, is that, and I love that your last name is Sparks, right? Like how perfect is that? Like you were just set up for this, which is amazing. And what about when people do get those sparks? Because something that's standing out to me is you got this vision pretty consistently when you were 18. You had this knowing when you were a little girl, and then it kind of just evaporated and it was just kind of gone and you shut down. And I know I talk to a lot of people who really have this strong sense of knowing, but they get defeated by life. And it sounds like they're doing what you experienced and also what I did. But hearing you telling it very clear, where it's like, I know best, I know better than God, than spirit, than whatever, like I'm going to do it. And then we find ourselves trapped in these lives and totally disconnected when there had been a point in time and we so strongly knew, or even if it was just a spark, a glimpse of, I am meant for so much more. And this is going to work out for me. And it took 10 years. And then it was just like spirit didn't say, oh, hey, this guy is here at whatever. Like it was just this disconnected series of events. And had you like killed yourself, you would not have had that experience, So what is your advice to people who they might have had that spark or that feeling and it's gone now? How do you help them get back to listening when sometimes life happens and people have a hard time getting back to it, have a hard time trusting or knowing?
Asking yourself, am I done suffering? And am I dedicated to living? What would it take for me to know why I'm here? Honestly, just getting still. Go for a walk. Go for a walk, get still, listen. Or I got into an argument over a cheese dispenser when I was a Parks and Rec girl. And if there's something that you get like really lit up about and you're like, there's no way that I need to be getting this lit up about it, maybe pay attention and be like, what's going on? What was the purpose of this conversation? Stay in curiosity of your own life. I don't know if I ever, I didn't know that I had it. So it's almost like, I don't know if I even knew that I had it when I had it. It was just, I just got to a point. If you get to the point where you no longer want to live, ask yourself, is it that I no longer want to live this life? The life that I'm living, how I'm living it. Because more than likely, it's not that you want to actually die, it's that you actually want to live. So that's where, am I done suffering? Am I dedicated to truly living?
And it's so interesting. I too am from the Midwest, and there are just things that we do because it's the right thing to do. And I mean, it's and still to this day, I'm trying to shed stuff that I feel like I need to do for other people and do more just for me and what my inner guidance is telling me. But the getting married, the doing all the things, I knew that wasn't going to work. So I just moved. So I would have to, but that was kind of a cowardly way of going about it. And at the same time, it also opened up my world in some really different, more beautiful ways. But it's really easy to find yourself in that place. And you get the job, you have the marriage, you have the kids, you do all the stuff you're supposed to do. And I think women today, even it's easier for women today than it was 20 years ago, because there were expectations 20 years ago, let alone, for me, which was closer to 40 years ago. You just did certain things. And so I applaud you for, navigating the process. And it's different for everyone, but when you're walking down the street and you're holding that guy's hand, you're like, like I would pretty much rather be anywhere than here.
There was a saying that I found that I don't know who the author of the saying is, but it was, I'd rather do nothing with you than something with anyone else.
Right.
And I took a picture of it on my handy dandy flip phone that didn't even have texting. And I took a picture of it. Somehow, I think I ended up just showing it to Craig when I ended up coming, because we would visit each other like once a month. And I was like, I would rather do nothing with you than something with anyone else. And now we're at the point where I'm like, let's do something here, kids. Let's we got stuff to do. That energy needs to like be revved up a bit.
So Sarah, I'm curious, where are you geographically?
I'm in Simpsonville, South Carolina.
Okay, so you're near water, I'm guessing. Is that inland?
No, it's in the upstate. It's about an hour and a half or an hour and 15 from Asheville, North Carolina.
Okay.
We're about 3 hours from Charleston.
Okay.
We're close to mountain ranges.
Cool. I have a friend that's moving to Charleston next month.
Oh, awesome. We were just there over spring break, and it's nice.
Beautiful. Anyway, so sorry, I was just curious about the location.
Yeah. I moved from Iowa to Florida to start my life after I ended everything up there, graduate studies and everything, and I moved to Florida, and then we stayed there for 7-8 years, I think. And then we moved back to Iowa to be close to family, like be a family around family. That was the intention. And then my husband's toes were like black in the middle of winter, and he was like, I'm over this. And he's from Kentucky, and so he was always like, I know cold. I was like, no, Iowans think that Kentucky's still the South. So no, I don't think you do know cold. And like we moved in like November, and it was snowing like on the way, like on the highway to and then like that year it was like -20 or something for over Christmas time, and he was like, this is a whole different level of cold. And I'm like, yeah, no. So we did a divine guidance this or that type of thing. We just sat down and was like, Rocky Mountains, Appalachians, like 2-story house, ranch style, homeschool, public school. Like we just did that, and then we narrowed it down, and we each did our own based on what felt good to us, and we went from there.
That's a really beautiful way to
So,
navigate.
yeah. So what does your husband think about all this? It sounds like you were understanding who you were. He was a part of your awakening journey, which is wonderful, because a lot of people that are wooey usually have issues with relationships, like they are not supported by their spouses or their partners. And I think that your whole deal is just amazing. But as you were growing into who you were, like, how did he react to you?
We push our own buttons because we tend to grow. There were times that as I was waking up, I was like, what if I become so amazing and leave you behind? I can laugh about it now, and we all can laugh about it because we totally get it. But that's a serious question that some of my clients are like,
yeah, I hear,
what if I completely elevate and then I have to leave him? And I just want to be like, hold your horses there, kid. You know, you're gonna be okay. He or she they'll be just fine. And so will you. You don't have to grow at the same time. I had to learn that. So I moved down, and so he's Mr. IT. He was the CIO for an oil company. And I call him Mr. IT. I don't think he's not known as that. Like, I just call him that. And he's now like tech support here. And so we have a fun relationship because he works from home. I work from home. And then when I call him up here to like help me, because I'm on the second floor, and and then he's like, so how are you going to pay me? And I'm like, I think that's sexual harassment here in the workplace, sir. And I was like, but later.
Issue. Oh, false alarm.
I love it. I love it. That is so brilliant. I freaking love it. I love everything about it. And you already gave some steps about if someone's really feeling lost and the questions to ask. And I love how you're saying the question of, hey, is it that I'm tired of living life, or I'm tired of living this life? I think it's very powerful, and that touched my heart. Everything you're saying is touching my heart. But what else can someone do if they want to have the experiences that you're having? Like if they want to be led, and I can already feel like my psychic senses are tingling, because I can already feel people who are looking for their soul partner or whatever. Like, how do I get the tall, dark, handsome stranger on the beach kind of understanding or knowing? Because something else that's standing out to me is, and this is not to knock what people have to do, because everyone's journey is different, but it's like spirit showed you like it was just kind of like, this is the person, like that, almost like preordained destiny, opportunity, possibility. Like, this is the person. It wasn't showing you and then hop on Tinder or then hop on whatever. It was like, you know what I mean? So how do people get guidance like that, even if it's just the clarity of, yes, this is going to work out for you? What is like a first step that they can take?
So this has helped so many people, and so full circle, I'm actually an ordained minister, and then I officiated over 350 weddings. So like, I have given people this process, they've done it, they've met, and then I've gotten to marry them. So that has been like, I have special preference. I'm not actually officiating weddings now. That's like in the past, and that's a lot. So I am on a whole different trajectory, if that's the right word to say.
Yeah.
What I did, and I didn't even know, again, I didn't know I was doing it. This is also part of the story, is in November of 2003, I had this feeling that I needed to really know what I wanted in a husband. So I got married to my ex-husband in August of 2004. So in November 2003, so months before, I wrote out everything that I want in a husband. So you would ask yourself, how do I want to be treated? What are the experiences I want to have? How do I want to feel in this relationship, in myself? What are the conversations I'm having? Where are we going together? Which is the experiences, such as, what does your morning look like? What is your afternoon, your evening? Do you work together? Do you not? Do you travel? And yes, the looking, I didn't even put down like what he looked like. It just didn't It didn't even dawn on me, which I know that is helpful for some, like they have a particular whatever. But it was more or less for me, just how I wanted to be treated and how I wanted to be appreciated and respected and what that looked like and how I wanted to be loved. I am a physical touch, and this is from the 5 love languages, but I've known this forever. I am a physical touch. And then I am words of affirmation. So my number 1 is physical touch, words of affirmation are 2. If you don't, I would suggest, if you don't know that, go on to like, and I'm not like promoting it because I don't get anything from it, but the 5 love languages, and there's a quiz online that has been very helpful. But I am a slap my booty, call me pretty, and we are good to go. Like I am very easy to love. I love very easy, and I'm very easy to love. There's not like a lot of complications, and Craig knows that. So he's like, done, we can do that. And so I wrote it all out of exactly what I wanted in a husband. And after I got done, I'm like, I don't think this man that I'm going to marry, even though I knew that it wasn't, I was like, oh, I'm going to write this out. And I don't think that he's the man for me. And I need to tell him that because it's better now than later. So we got together at my parents' place, and we did not have a place yet. I was still in college. So November 2003, I remember sitting in my parents' kitchen underneath the stovetop, like on the floor. And I was like, all right, I got to tell you something, and I got to show you this. I wrote this all out, and this is what I want in a husband. I don't think it's you. Like,
wow.
I don't think it's you. And, I don't want you to change. Like, I don't want you to try to become this person, because I don't think naturally you are this person. And he's like, oh no, I can be this person. And I'm like, I'm sure, but then you aren't honoring who you are. And
Right.
I don't think that you are this person. And it's not that there's anything wrong with you. I just had this aha that I don't think I'm supposed to marry you. And I don't think you're the husband that I want. And I think we should just be done. Oh, no. So I ended up marrying him. And I was starting to move out and pack everything up, like fast forward to 2009-ish. And I had the wedding planner binder that I had. No idea. I think I probably pitched it now, and I don't know where that list is at. But I found the list again, and all the reasons why I'm leaving are all the reasons on there because he wasn't that man.
Wow.
And then I met the man on the list, the man from the dream, and I showed the man the list, Mr. Craig Sparks, Mr. IT. And he's like, holy shit, that's me. And I was like,
wow.
I know, like crazy.
Yeah,
not crazy, but
great.
crazy. So I would suggest but get into the feeling of it. Like, how do I want to feel? What are the experiences that I want to have? And then, because he's hard to hear. I didn't know I was doing that, but when I went to Florida, I didn't intentionally try to be like, I'm leaving my husband. This shit. It didn't even dawn on me. Like, it wasn't intentional. It wasn't anything. I would go to the like, I don't even know what the store it was, but it was a store in the mall. And I was like, how do I want to feel on vacation? How do I really want to dress? Like, who am I really? And I didn't have any I didn't have a me telling me all this stuff. Like, I just was like, this is something I would never wear. I'm going to wear it. Like, this is good. So I just like started being me and beachy and fun and cool and just go with the flow. And I got these like cool jewelry and these earrings and I was showing all this stuff to my sister, and she's like, who are you? Like, and like, I was like, I'm going on vacation. Isn't it amazing? Like, la, la, la. So I just was acting like, I look back at it now, but I was acting as if it was already happening. Like, I was already going to the beach. I was already moving to the beach. I was like, it wasn't this like forced thing. And so I think when you let go of the expectation and the results and the needing and the having and maybe that's a technical term, by the way, you can just add that in there.
How do you spell that?
Right.
like, ha 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 ha.
I freaking love that. So it sounds like what you're saying is you got really clear, and I hope you guys, wherever you're watching this, can rewind and capture all the questions that Sarah gave, because those are phenomenal. And I really like that they got to your core values. Like, it wasn't just superficial about, looks like this, and not that there's anything wrong with that, but you got really to the core values of who is this man for you. Mm-hmm. And then I also like that it brought this feeling of gratitude and appreciation, and you could feel it. Like, you could feel who this person is. And then it sounds like in your day-to-day life, even though it wasn't like, you weren't calling it intentional, because sometimes that can take a lot of work, like the mindfulness. And it's like, are you living your life? Are you thinking about living your life? Yeah. But something that you said, it makes me think that you were just being super honest and real with yourself. Like, what do I feel like? And really listening deeply. Like, I really feel like this. And oh my gosh, that's so cool. And just enjoying yourself and who you were. Like, mm-hmm. This is Sarah on vacation. And so this is the way that Sarah on vacation would totally do it. Like, hell yeah. Like, you were just trusting yourself and honoring how it felt to you to be who you were, which I know is convoluted, but it was like you listened to yourself and trusted where you're at, as opposed to making it this hard job of, let me write my 15,000 affirmations or whatever. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? Like, I'm not trying to knock that
and I
for
teach
anyone,
that now, like, looking back, it's like what I'm teaching, but how I lived it, I just was like, what feels good?
Right.
And how could I be me? And can I do this weird looking face? Yeah, sure.
Right. And then
that's just cool.
And then there's also this greater trust in, there was always like weird things that happen, right? Like, your whole life's been weird in that, because it's not weird, but right? Like, why are you seeing this girl so many times and then it's her obituary? And then like, and why are you having this dream every week and then you meet the person? And why did people mention that shitty bar with lap dancing drunk lady? Like, why did all of these things happen, right? And people will write that off as coincidental or weird. People usually know enough to think it's more than a coincidence, but they aren't brave enough to really own, like, God's calling you, spirit's leading you, So it's like, oh, it's just weird is what people call it. So it sounds like you were still open to the weirdness, like you weren't shut off or closed off to it. You were like, let's go on an adventure. Let's see what this is about. See what this is like, which I also think is really important for anyone watching this. And I do want to point out, everyone, that Sarah, in your work with clients, you're just helping them for not just relationship stuff, though some people might use it for that, but it's like you said, like, different tangent here, like you're helping them just connect to their pure truth, their awesomeness. And I'm saying it not as cool as you say it. So for those of you who are still looking for your twin flame or whatever, like, Sarah does more than, not that there's anything wrong with that, but Sarah does more than that. So to be super crystal clear, how can people connect with you if they want to know more about your programs and learn just more about you in general? What's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
sarahsparks.love. www.sarahsparks.love.
Oh, shut up. That's so amazing. Like, who even are you? Are you effing kidding me right now with that? It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Well, we'll have this in the show notes wherever you're watching the show or listening to it. It's like, what is it? Like, sometimes it's like, it's so sweet. I feel like I'm getting diabetes right now. Like, you are too awesome, Sarah. Like, are you effing kidding me? Like, who are you right now? That's just brilliant. It's freaking brilliant.
So I was like, I need something in my office. I need to change it around because I need to be pointing in my direction of receiving this year. So I changed my desk around. I don't know what the heck I'm doing, but I read it somewhere. So I did. I mean,
as you do, right?
So I was like, okay, so I'm going to change things around and I really need a sign. What's something that I say all the time? It's hello, love. Oh my goodness. I watched some videos and I was like, hello, love, hello, love, hello. I was like, good Lord. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to look for signs that say hello, love. And Spirit's like, you already have it. You already have it. You already have it. And I'm like, no, I don't have a sign that says hello, love. And Spirit's like, you have two sparkly signs that say hello, love. Now they're two different signs, like, and I got them at the same place, but at different times. And they were like, hello was by the entryway and the love was by down by the fireplace mantle. And I was like, I do have them. I'm going to put them there. So
Really,
So
really.
it all just like we always have what we need.
It's
So
freaking
true.
awesome. Like you're just like, are you for real right now? It's like incredible. And Sarah also has a podcast, and we'll put the link to the podcast in the show notes as well. So check, she interviews so many other amazing people, and you can hear more of her story and get awesome like guidance. And I would highly recommend that channel as well. And again, we'll have that in the show notes. And Sarah, thank you so much for being here today.
Yes,
Terry, how do people get a hold of you?
Probably the easiest way is on LinkedIn, Terry, Terri, last name Dean, Dean, and on any of the Fem City websites. And what about you, Candace?
Oh, Instagram, Candace Intuitive is how you can find me. And also my website is CandaceThomasIntuitive.com. So thank you so much, Sarah. We might have to have you back because this has been wild. And we haven't even, like, if you all aren't used to Sarah, we haven't even scratched the surface, right? Like this is freaking phenomenal and amazing. And thank you so much for being here. If you did, yeah, you bet. I would highly recommend, and I'm biased because it's our channel, but please like this video if you got something out of it. Drop us comments and feedback. We'll be sure to get them to Sarah so that she sees any questions that you have or comments that you have for sure. And also be sure to subscribe to our channel to hear more of our amazing guests and their stories. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
1, 2, 3, 4.